Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that may be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the results of your decision. You have been warned. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and touches on many topics that may not be considered appropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the results of your decision. Warning: this podcast contains strong language and touches on a multitude of topics that might be considered inappropriate for work. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for anything that happens to you as a result of your decision. You have been warned. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and may touch on topics that are not considered appropriate for a work environment. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the results of your decision. Please note that this podcast contains strong language and may touch on topics that are not considered appropriate for a work environment. If you choose to listen without headphones, we are not responsible for the consequences of your decision. Warning: please note that this podcast contains strong language and touches on many topics that may not be considered appropriate for a work environment. If you choose to listen to this podcast where you can be overheard, we are not responsible for the consequences of your decision. You've been warned.
Spoilers, people. We're gonna talk about feminism, but is that our end game?
Really? That was your whole play? We've had a whole week, and that's what you came up with?
That was literally what I thought up with while I was walking from the train here to record this podcast.
I mean, I suppose it could be worse.
Because we are going to talk about Endgame, but that's going to be cut off into the Patreon-only archives, just so people don't get blasted with spoilers right away. But to introduce ourselves, we all have an X-Chromosome. Alright, so, business that gets this shit noticed for people. That will help also. We love and support. We love our Patreon family, but we do need more help. So, what you need to do, Noelle?
Like and subscribe, rate and review on your various podcast platforms. That'd be Apple Podcast, iTunes, Stitcher, Spotify. If there is a like and subscribe, rate and review sort of thing, please give us 5 stars. It makes the magic numbers dance, so eventually somebody will notice us, and then we can record awkward radio spots about bras or shoes or, things that Bill has no idea what to work with.
If a specific mattress company said, hey, we're going to upgrade you to the new version of the mattress that you already have, that's money. I could talk about my mattress all day, but until they give us some money, I'm not going to talk about it at all.
We're not going to plug things until they pay us. I'm mercenary that way.
In regards to commercials, yes.
But promo code X-Chromosome. Someday you'll get terrible commercials, but you'll love them. Because we won't promote shitty shit. I have standards. They're not particularly high, but I have them. We're also going to make sure that we support, that if people seeking to support our podcast with ad revenue are in keeping with the ethics of this podcast. You can also write the podcast. You can also follow us on Patreon and throw us money. We also have a PayPal link in case you don't want to go through the commitment of subscribing as a Patreon patron. You can just throw us a couple bucks. What are we going to do with all of that money? That fat money when we get it? We're going to, subscribe to newspapers and do research.
Because
so that as we go forward,
there's so many things behind paywalls that
oh my god, yeah,
we need to afford to break down so we could go through and take that content and give it to you in either rage or non-rage, but in a quantity that you would actually want to listen.
Yeah, I can't do the project I'm working on about Jordan Peterson and why he is a stupid fuckboy and nobody should ever listen to him, keeps getting bigger and bigger, because he keeps running his mouth and saying more and more stupid shit. And I keep finding new reasons to be like, wait, so now he's a proponent of, now he's throwing around this anti-Semitic dog whistle language, and yet he doesn't want to be held responsible for shit? What? So I need to do time and time and time and time. Yeah. And, we can't do research. We can't compile shit that we need to be angry and we need to be acting about without getting past, just newspaper subscriptions. Or if I need to throw money at
an expert,
scholarly journals, or hire people. Last week I mentioned I have access to I have the potential to have access to people who can talk about health equity, particularly in the LGBTQ community, but they do this for a living, and it would be shitty of me to be like, hey, can you come talk for free? I don't want to do that. They deserve, even though I'm not making them put on pants or drive anywhere or leave their house, they still deserve to be compensated for their time for the speaking engagement, because they're giving us knowledge that they have earned, and it's only respectful to pay your people. So to get better guests, to get
yeah.
Oh,
Hi.
This is our special guest.
Hi. It's me.
This is Gretchen, who
Yes.
Was on my previous podcast, Vicarious Identity. One of the things that she goes into in the pole dancing world is Goth Barbie 3000.
Yes, that's the stage. That's the rumor.
My friend Donnie was so jealous when he kept asking for reports about how many downloads his episode was compared to yours, and I'm like, dude, just stop.
Oh my god, no, really? Seriously? Stop, dude.
He's like, but her episode's so much better than mine. I'm like, yeah, I know.
Wait a minute. So he was flexing because I got more downloads, and then he was, because not whining, but but it's so much better than mine. It's like, well, there's a correlation there.
He wasn't flexing.
Oh, you know what I mean? Yeah,
kind of a weird flex. For not flexing.
Yeah,
he's literally
don't get me wrong.
He's literally not the flexing type.
I picked this up from the kids these days. The flex is like, this is your push, this is your thing, this is what you do. And so I'm just like, yeah, that sounds better, because I'm like, flexing when I'm used to is like, roar. I'm like, whatever, bro. You can't see that on the internet.
I'm just letting the people know
yeah, we've kind of moved into the general talking about depictions of healthy relationships in film. That's not necessarily
in film and right.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, let Nate let us know that he's Brian, our basically kind of like our associate producer,
Boop.
who hasn't seen Endgame. So I already lost what I was gonna go back to in regards to
You went the what? I was just trying to think. I was like, wait a minute. You said put a pin in it because I know now. Fuck you. This is why I write everything. This is why I have to write everything down.
This is actually why we have Brian, because he's the one like, hey, remember this part? And it's like, oh,
okay, good. Because I'm like, damn it.
But unfortunately, that was Endgame stuff that we set up. For those that are now listening to this part of the podcast, we just went through and ranted about Endgame and a bunch of other topics in relation to this. That's going to be on the Patreon. You're all going to be able to listen to it. The Patreon is at www.patreon.com/ we all have an /X-Chromosome podcast. That'll be up a few days after this episode is out. But I want to go through and bring up a little bit of discussion that we just finished talking about in regards to platonic relationships. I think that's where we're about that and how important they are.
Yeah, emotionally healthy, platonic love,
guys being
relationships, especially between two men. Oh.
Yeah,
okay.
we gotta introduce Gretchen.
Okay. Hi, this is Gretchen. Gretchen is my new favorite person.
Oh.
So tell us a little bit about yourself so people know why we're shrieking our feminism at each other.
Hi, I'm Gretchen, and I am a pathetic nerd. No. I'm sorry. This is one of those meetings. This
is not a meeting, no.
No. Well, currently I am completely and utterly unemployed. I am a pole dancer. I live in Florida. I sew and do, and design clothing and cosplay. Let's see. What else do I do? And I'm just like a screeching riot girl feminist from the 90s. So like, I can't shut my mouth.
Will say, so when Noelle, when you asked me about how I started with feminism and all that, Gretchen is one of the people that was really in your face about it on social media, to the point that even a cisgendered straight white dude that primarily lived in the South, and I count the Panhandle of Florida the South.
Oh yeah, redneck Riviera, bro. I understand. That's why they call it what they do.
So,
panhandle behavior.
If it wasn't for her, this might not have. Basically, I might have went full blown redneck.
I mean, you can be a redneck and a feminist.
No. I'm not saying, when I say full blown redneck, I'm talking about Magna hat wearing.
Ooh, yeah. At the very least, there's a possibility of libertarian, like you might not all right, but libertarian may have been part of yo thing.
I'm trying to salvage a libertarian. It is some serious emotional labor.
It's really difficult to do.
I'm going to admit a sin. This reminds me of what we were talking about.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, confess your sins, my child.
Okay, so
I saved him.
We briefly talked about the return of James Gunn for Guardians 3.
That was exactly what you wanted to talk about. Is the possibility and the idea of, can people grow?
Right. But my sin is during the election, when Obama was running for the second time, I believe.
Okay.
Um,
I was just like, oh, are you talking about the most recent 2 elections? Because Bill. Okay. Obama.
I voted.
Gotcha.
I voted for our current attorney general,
I'm sorry.
William Barr.
Oh. Okay.
Hillary was the first mainstream presidential candidate that I ever voted for.
Oh, you've been. You okay?
So
You're confessing your sins. You're coming to us for I understand. Okay, go on.
Because ever since I was able to vote, it was third party candidates. Mostly because the way that I thought things worked didn't work that way for the longest time. However, the only reason, and I still might have voted third party the last election, but I became a one issue voter, and Hillary was the only one that sided on my issue, which was outright, you need to get vaccinated.
Okay, you're actually almost making up for your past sins, and the only reason I'm saying that is because, like, and I know I already see what you're saying. Like, I never voted third party, but I can see like where that was, because the big push was always to say, like, if you get in, we all believed in the bullshit, back when it was just like, if there's enough people that vote for them and these are our real issues, then if there's enough people, then you'll still get cock blocked by the electoral college. Sorry about it. That sucks.
I was thinking about before, was like, if they get a certain percentage of the votes, that party would get federal funding to be able to run a proper election to actually do something. So I was putting my vote in just to try to get that percentage up.
Right, and at that point, that's a real shitty thing to do to the American voting populace, because even if it wasn't about the electoral college, which it totally is, but even if it wasn't, it's a lie to get you to, because they're like, well, if you voted with enough retweets, you'll get funding, and they're just like, there's a lot. That's a total lie. They'll lie, they're whatever. You will fall through. There'll be a loophole. You won't get it, because they don't want those parties to have it. It's not how they maintain power. That's not how they control the chaos. I'm not a big conspiracy theory fan. In fact, I'm like way against it. I'm just like, life inherently is chaos and has no meaning. However, there are people in this universe that do take advantage of it. And so for that to be the thing, I think that's unfortunate that people would project that out to you and be all like, if you vote enough for us, for this party, then we get, this kind of funding to be we can be a real political party. And I'm like, that's unfair. That's setting everybody up for failure, because that system's fucked up. And so that was like this weird carrot cookie that you were never going to have. And that's sick.
Yeah.
That's just sick. But like, I don't know. I'm completely disillusioned. I voted for Hillary because I was a one issue voter, and my issue was Trump. Are you fucking with me? I'm sorry. But do you guys ever remember the lifestyles of the rich and famous?
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say this right here.
Robin Leach. Yep.
Thank you. Right here, right now. I watched the episode that Trump was on, and he was still with Ivanka, and he's like gold plated everything. And I looked at that man and I went, ew, he's gross. Like, just to the core of my prepubescent being, I looked at him and went, he's gross. What's the matter with him? I watched other episodes of it, and I was just like, okay, these are just people with like excessively redonkulous amounts of money. And I didn't understand that concept when you're a kid. I'm just like, what's a lot of money to you? Mm-hmm. I don't know. Whatever could get me an Atari or a Macintosh. Like, what? What is that?
Oh no, what are we laughing about?
He put up a thing and he's like, you saved him. I was like, and he's like, repent sinners. And I was like, apparently I did. I didn't know that I saved you, Bill. I had no idea. Like, I look at that and I'm like,
that's not our show. What show is that? Those are Rennie's.
Yeah.
What are they doing?
And this is why you don't
This is fucking
this is why you don't get a picture with a blank sign. Because the internet will put weird shit onto it. Because I don't think that's part of the thing. Well, that's a pretty good job. No clue. Found it on Google. It's still got the dreams time watermarks all over it. That's funny. Anyway, but yeah, that one's hard for me. Like, people were just like, oh, was Hillary like, and I was like, no, I didn't vote for Hillary because I wanted the first woman president. I didn't vote for Hillary because of a lot of the issues. Yes, she was obviously closer to a lot of the issues that I have, but I have a lot of problems with a lot of the involvement that she had before. But what I also was hoping for was the fact that I was just like, please get into office and correct your mistakes.
See, what she got was,
and I'm leading back to the whole James Gunn,
People
Dan
can
Harmon, and we bring it back full circle.
All right, so
I don't suck, and my meds haven't worn off yet.
What does one? Except I'm not including the big things that basically there is no
coming back from.
So rape, murder, things like that.
Okay,
not that, but
no, obviously, and I'll actually be all like, to be fair, I might actually give somebody who committed murder a moment of my time to find out why.
The reasoning of murder.
Yeah, I'm like, let me figure it out why. Self-defense, you were defending crime pound. Okay, cool.
I'm just talking
I'm weird, but I was like, when it comes to rape, molestation, sexual assault, stuff like that, I'm like, nope. There's no fucking reason for it. Fuck right off. Die in a fire. I don't care.
How long would you say should there be like a statute of limitation? How far do you go back into somebody's history and punish them for things that they may have possibly said as a stupid teenager? I'm just like saying like tweets, like as a stupid teenager that you didn't know better. And ever since then, you've been basically the model citizen, and you know that now it's like, wow, I was just a stupid teenager that didn't know better.
What do you mean? Like statute of limitations? Like, statute of limitations on how far back we should go into their tweeting history,
and then punish people for something that they might have done without knowing because people make mistakes.
Yes, exactly. And here's my deal on this one. Is weirdly enough, as much as a brutal riot girl, angry, fucking slam poetry feminist that I am, and I admit to it, and I don't give a shit. I do have a great deal of compassion for people who understand their mistakes, because quite fucking frankly, I made mistakes too. Like there's been times when I've been downright, I could be viewed as downright a betrayal of my sisters, with the whole, like, I'm not like other girls, starting with that kind of toxicity, and I can work my way around whatever.
No.
Exactly.
Pick me. No.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Oh no. And I, and I did it upon self-reflection.
We all did it.
But upon self-reflection, that one never got me laid, so it didn't get me any dates. So what it did was it gave me armor for not being able, for not understanding a lot of things. Like, why do I want to be around these women, and yet I feel compelled by something outside of myself to be in competition with them? Like, because inside of myself, I don't feel competitive against another woman. I just don't. You're different. I'm different. Whatever. You might do something that I do that I don't. And I'm like, I look at that and go, oh my God. Because weirdly enough, I've been coming around with this topic, this very almost precise topic very recently in the pole world. When it comes to pole, strangely enough, you can start to get into this whole competitive nature inside yourself. You look at somebody on stage and they're doing their dance, and you're just like, well, what about me? I could do that. Why am I not doing that? Well, I'm just going to be, she's snotty anyway. No, honey. You're at a different place in your journey. You have a different style. Like, I didn't end up training for strength. I ended up training for flexibility. So, I can practically put my legs behind my head and do splits and do all this crazy shit, but I can't do big power moves, for example. But there's that. Okay. So why am I sitting here wasting my time being all like jello over something that another woman can do? And I can do something really cool too. And so what do you do? But instead of internally competing with somebody who does not even know that that's what you're doing, so you're affecting nothing but your own psyche. I've found that a lot of the women in the community and women and men in the community, instead of doing that, we've started to collaborate. I've noticed from personal people,
Okay.
Like, I have no patience for painting things. But there's been a couple of women in the pole community that have, two of them are actually local, that have, one has become pretty national/international with brand ambassadors, in the pole world, because she has modified and she customizes the stripper shoes, the dancers, the pleaser shoes that a lot of us wear for pieces in competitions. And with glitter and different designs and the beautiful, beautiful work. Right. And another girlfriend of mine, she picked up a airbrush machine and just went to town, lost her mind, and she's been airbrushing like cool ass shit onto shoes. The two of them don't need to compete because they actually have two different forms. Although, so it's just like, man, it's like they both have the same canvas, but they have two different forms of art, right? Now, especially the one that paints the airbrushes, because like I'm just closer with her. I've known her longer. She's like, yeah, I can do this. This is wonderful. But you know what I can't do? I can't sew. I can't alter. I can't redesign. I want all these things from like different pole costuming, and I don't know where to find it. And I was just like, oh, I can help you with that shit. I don't want to modify a heel. I want to go and buy that. But you know what? I can make a costume, because that's what I'm good at. And instead of hating each other for doing something completely different, why don't we get together and, do that thing? And so that's like bringing it around, like that's that, like, let's turn this weird toxicity that we've been taught that we have to do, say, fuck it, throw it out the window and put it to our benefit.
Yeah, I have a relationship like that with a fellow Rennie. She dresses as Titania, the fairy queen.
Oh yeah,
we have been mistaken for each other a total of one time, which is hilarious because she's like half a head taller than I am, has this thick, luxuriant mane of hair, and I have none of that. Also, she has blue eyes, and I have hazel eyes. And our skulls look nothing alike. So really, it's very Krupp and Vandemar. We look nothing alike.
Yeah. But you get mistaken for each other because, all you white women look the same. Like, all you chicks look the same. All you fairy chicks at Ren Fair with your intricate stuff look exactly the same. I get you. I see what you're saying, though. Like, yeah, it's funny.
Yeah. We're both redheaded. We both wear green. And we're both kind of elfy, so if you don't see us together...
Okay, I can see that on the corner of the glance. Yeah, corner of your eye.
Yeah, it was... Somebody walked up to her and said, "Are you Pixie?" They were looking for me. Right. And she thought it... She thought it was the best thing. And I also thought it was literally the best. But I've had this very quiet jealousy of her costuming skill, because she's fucking brilliant. And then she helps... And then, we get together and we talk about working on cosplays together now.
Yeah.
Because we're the best of friends. And yeah, I'm like, I fucking hate you. Your costuming is always amazing. And she's like, yeah, come on, let's go talk about your cosplay. And I'm like, yeah, you're so amazing. I'm so jealous. Keep being awesome. It gives me... It's a rivalry. I don't actually hate her.
There are some people that benefit.
It's a push to excel.
Exactly. And there are some people that really do excel in that kind of like friendly, healthy, it's a challenge. It's a challenge to yourself to better yourself. It's not like a hateful rivalry. It's not a vengeance. It's not, this is my nemesis. Exactly. That kind of thing. I don't feel those feels towards people. So rivalry doesn't spur me to do anything, but a lot of people it does.
I get that.
A lot of people it does and so on. They're just like, oh, you did what? Well, damn it, girl, now I gotta up my game. And it's so fun. I've seen people do that and it's amazing. Yep. And I'm like, please, more of that. So even if you do have that competitive nature, which people do, that is a thing, I just don't have that. Yeah, I'm just yeah.
Well,
I've been in the ring with my own demons in my skull. I ain't got time to fight with the rest of you bitches. I'm sorry. I love you all. Never, like I'm going to sit over here. So.
Yeah, we're not even fighting.
Fight.
It's I'm jealous of your graphic design skills. I don't have those skills. Here's money. Help me make my thing work. That's literally I was putting together and I was kit bashing a dress from Amazon and a bunch of fabric from Joann's to make an Edwardian style dress for I want to do an absinthe fairy. So I've got more work to do on this. I need the wings and a headdress and some other stuff. We had a masquerade ball. So I bought this dress. She and her husband helped me make a bustle that's detachable with the satin fabric. It attaches to this 1930s dress, column dress that we had cut down.
They did so somebody sewed satin into a bustle for you?
And gathered it and made a bustle,
Those people
a
fucking love you.
Train.
They love you, by the way. I'm just telling you right now. Satin, they love you.
Yeah, I know. It's a bitch fabric, hateful. And yes, they do love me.
They love you like a lot. Like that's true love. Because I hate working with satin, and I hate working with velour, especially if it's the stretch velour. I made a pair of I forget who it was, and I hope he gaming, LARPing back in the day, played in Invictus. I know that doesn't narrow much down, but he was in North Carolina with when I was living there at the time, and he's like, "Yeah, I want one of those Sopranos tracksuits, those mob guy tracksuits." And I was just like, "Sure, no problem." First time I ever watched this.
No,
and he paid me. He paid, and it was a bitch and a half. I gave him half. No. There's no. Yeah, my friends understand the work that I go through, usually. And I was just like, I gave him half his money back because I only got through the pants before I went, fuck you. No. And I went, here's half of your money. Here's a pair of really comfy pants. He loves them. He's like, I wore those things until they fell off of me, like apart, because he wore them out. But still, I was like, you better have loved those things hard, because those were a bitch to create. I fucking hate that shit. So yeah, satin. Oof. Yeah. Sorry. That's true love right there. I won't touch that shit. I'll spray paint it. Sorry about it, but go ahead. So Bill, you were talking, let's get back to being like fucking
grow and change.
Yes. Growth and change, and if there's a time limit or like a statute of limitations. And I don't believe that there's a statute. I think that somebody who is digging into somebody's past hard for reasons, no other reason than to just like, I'm just going to fuck with this person, needs to look inside themselves and wonder why.
See, that's just the thing. The people that dig in this stuff is basically to fuck with people, and they're like, hey, I found this tidbit, I'm going to drop it like right here and let everybody go nuts about it. I'm just going to back up slowly and let the media go through and have a field day.
Oh yeah, no, they get off on being edgelord fucking troll bitches. Like, fuck them. Like, whatever, you little...
God damn it, edgelord.
Yeah, exactly.
It's sad because it's a both sides issue.
Yes.
Now, Harvey Weinstein sucks. Everything that he winds up getting in prison, he deserves.
He hasn't said sorry.
him, Cosby, and I'm sorry to say this, but let me tell you a moment of disappointment. Okay, so there's two moments of and Kevin Spacey, and I was just like, damn it, too, because Frank Underwood, that was such a damn, but in the style of a true badass woman, fucking Robin Wright was all like, I'm not gonna let this bullshit affect the lives and livelihoods of all of the rest of these fucking people here. We're gonna keep doing this. Don't you dare fuck this up. She fought to keep for that last season. Netflix was just going to drop the whole situation, and she fought her ass off to keep it going. I mean, obviously it wasn't a one-woman army. However, she pushed that, she pushed that agenda, and I was like, yeah. And then that last season, like, I don't know if anybody's watched the spoilers, but oh my God, like, come on. She's just like, I was like, oh God, you're worse than Frank. And it was amazing. It was fucking amazing. And I was like, talk about making a golem out of shit, dude. Like, seriously, that was pretty badass. But yeah, those guys, they burn. Gross. The people that really, the things that kind of upset me, and this goes into the whole, like, how far back do you got to dig? And then how much do you have to, quote, punish somebody? Because negative reinforcement isn't helping anything. And that's the thing is and I have this tendency too, because I am filled with a lot of rage. I have these issues. We as feminists are fine, the women who are just like, no, finally you're getting what you fucking deserve because you need to feel the way we felt. Do you know how much that is counterproductive? As much as we want to enact the retribution, that's just going to fuel them to continue to behave in a toxic fucking manner, because that's the sugar for that fucking, bacteria. Like, that is what continues that cycle, is that, when you enact that retribution and then they feel attacked, they double down on their behavior and keep doing it. Some of them, a lot, and these are the really awful guys. But I also spend way too much time listening to YouTubers read subreddits. I know. I'm getting my shit like third, fourth hand. And one of the subreddits is like r/nice guys, where, when presented with, this is kind of horrible shit behavior, what about it? They're all like, nah, and they just go deeper. And I'm like, okay, so those are unfortunately like hard to deal with, because you're not even punishing somebody. You're literally like, what the fuck? Why you gotta bring his fucking face up? I gotta turn the thing on. I appreciate that he put in the thing, but I was just
and that's why we love Brian.
That's why we keep him around.
But yeah, it's like one of the funny things about the James Gunn thing to me was one of the most vocal critics of the whole firing of James Gunn was Dave Bautista. And James Gunn got rehired during the WrestleMania lead up between Dave Bautista and Triple H. And the whole entire time during the lead up, basically Batista's going, Triple H, give me what I want. Triple H, give me what I want. And then James Gunn gets rehired. Like, well, you got what you want. What else?
There's such a difference.
And now James Gunn is working with both Marvel and DC.
Yeah, well, he's obviously can't save DC. Can't. They have DC has no capacity to make consistently good films.
I think if DC continues to decide that they're going to try to keep the movies more separated instead of trying to focus on a cinematic universe, they might have something. Aquaman had pretty good reviews. We also have Wonder Woman. Hopefully that sequel, that Wonder Woman 2 will be just as good as Wonder Woman 1. But he's now working with both worlds at the same time, pretty much. This isn't about James Gunn. Well, this is mostly about Sins of the Past and how we can reflect and work to try to say, okay, you made this mistake. What have you done since then? People need to start looking at the whole body of work and see if there's pattern behavior, if they've learned from issues. Usually I see this pop up around every year around the All-Star game for Major League Baseball. Because usually some baseball reliever is elected to the All-Star game or brought into the All-Star game because they're good. And someone's like, I never heard of that person. Let me dig up bullshit about them. And then right before the All-Star game, so-and-so said this when he was 18. And the guy's now like 28. He's a leader in the locker room. He's great with much of Major League Baseball is very much a Latino sport.
It could.
So people learn. It's like most of them all basically look. I said stupid shit when I was a kid. I went to college. I learned, holy shit, people are people, and I was an asshole. And I grew from that. And then, like, everyone has to go through, like, oh, well, he said this before, so now we have to make sure that we have to look to see, we have to discipline them for something that they did before they were a part of the sport.
Right. So sorry about that. There we go.
Yeah, that's another thing. It's like, all right, they weren't even a part of the sport, and you're disciplining them for something that they said that they learned from before joining your organization.
Okay, so we're the WWE, or did I pick something up? I'm sorry, they cut out.
I was pointing out that a lot of times when this type of thing drops, it's during the Major League Baseball All-Star game.
Oh, okay, yeah. I thought you said something about MLB, but I wasn't positive. I was like, it's still there. Okay.
And usually it has to do with like some relief pitcher who is having a really good season that the manager selects to be the team because the managers pick the pitchers. And someone digs something up about them when they were like 16 or 17 on Twitter trying to be all edgy and stuff. And they're like...
they're want to do.
You know? I grew up from that. I went to college. I realized people were people. I realized how much of an asshole I was as a kid.
Yeah.
I wasn't even drafted or signed into the major leagues when I said it, and yet they get disciplinary action for things that they said before they were even a part of it.
And see exactly, and I think that fucking sucks. And here is why that is more detrimental to an overall society when it comes to this. And it's not just about how unfair it is to a human being who has developed. That exists as well. So there's two situations. Is, individually that fucking blows for them because that is unjust.
Mm-hmm.
Fair, fuck fair. Fair is where you get fucking funnel cakes and sick on overpriced fucking shitty rides. You
deep fried Oreo.
Oh my god, deep fried everything. Like I was like the first time I had I just ate a hamburger and the bun was 2 Krispy Kreme donuts. I wanted to kill myself because I was just like, I am the worst human being in the universe, but whatever. Like,
yeah, that is some garbage human being behavior.
It really was. It really was.
I know
you have to understand that was
thing.
when I still carried around the weight of another Backstreet Boy upon my body. So, like, I made poor choices.
I will say I know what burger you're talking about, but if the donut was not glazed, I would go for it. It was just like the actual...
No, it's gotta be glazed.
No, I'm talking about just like as a burger. I can't do like the sweet glaze on top of the burger. No, but it was like just like a plain fried donut, no glaze.
Seriously, if you're talking about like we're doing new Gordon Ramsay-esque flavorful combos, and you took a traditional donut cake donut dough, and you turn that into, so there's your little bit sweet but nothing crazy, and then you got your savory with whatever burger situation you're putting into your mix. Awesome. I see exactly what you're saying. But no, that was actually for the maximum amount of like, what the fuck can I stuff into something else that's going to be utterly defiling to my gastrointestinal fucking system, and then I'm gonna watch people eat it. Yeah. Krispy Kreme. And it was really awful. It was absolutely terrifyingly awful. Like, I questioned my own existence after I ate that. I think that was very, very close to around the time I started that whole like, wow, I am 280 pounds and this is sad. So it was like, it's actually that fair. It was the state fair. It was the North Carolina State Fair where I had it. And I was just like, actually, that was kind of a pivotal moment for me. So thank you, garbage food, for making me go, I need to rethink my existence and the choices that I make. I'm sorry. I just thought it was funny. But yeah, moving back to whatever. You were saying something about, and I wanted to address it, the whole like statute of limitations. And I don't think that should exist, simply because that's something about who digs up the shit, not the perpetrator. I do believe that has some sort of bearing on your assessment of that person in the now times. If you went back 3 weeks ago and somebody said something ignorant and they're just like, Teehee was just stupid and joking and I was trying to be edgy and I'm not. My bad. I'm real sorry. No, you're an unisan. You're like, stop. It's a bad YouTube apology. Like, fuck off. That's just ridiculous, because you're going to do it in a week and a half. You're going to do it again in a week and a half anyway. As for going back through somebody's tweets, okay, I guess it's there. It's on the internet. You can go back through anybody's fucking record. Do what you want to do about it. But you have to look at that, that information that was brought up, like I said, between, James Gunn and also Dan Harmon did something that he made a very, very... I don't even think I watched the whole thing because it was just like, man, it was an animation and it was just wrong. It was not, he was trying to be edgy.
I missed this bit.
Huh?
I missed this bit.
It was a long time ago and it was like student animation. I mean, we're talking like over 10 to 15 years ago, I think. I'm not sure. It might be in that general arena. And he made an animation where I think the character, it was like real brief flash animation where the character broke into somebody's room, like broke into their, the kid's room, and then just kind of molested a stuffed animal.
Dan Harmon issues apology for old pedophilia sketch video.
Thank you. Yes.
Oh.
Yes. But it wasn't,
Some things are dreadfully unfunny.
Yes. And it was dreadfully like I said, I didn't get through it. I was like, no, I'm good. Dreadfully unfunny. And Dan Harmon himself's like, yes, that was dreadfully unfunny. I was a fuckwit. Let me show you where exactly in the point in time where I realized I was a trash fuckwit for that. And
that is the difference. That is what Gunn did. That is what this guy's done. That is what Cosby and Spacey,
but here's the deal.
And Weinstein have not. They have not said, we okay, we understand this was monstrous behavior. We deserve everything we get.
And that's the thing is, I do want them to understand. I do want to hear, I would like to hear a true and utter apology, like a whole, like, yeah, clearly. But number one, I will have no quarter for that kind of crime. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah,
there's a difference, massive, and we all need to understand this, or we're never going to get any further, is the fact that fucked up bad jokes are not on the same level as sexual fucking assault.
No, they are not.
And you don't deserve quarter, and I will never suspect that they are truly recalcitrant and truly sorrowful about their behavior and what they've done in their acts, because They continued it up until the moment they were busted and they could no longer do it. This wasn't like,
they're not sorry for what they did.
Their careers are over and they don't have the power that they once had. They're not sorry for anything that they've ever done. And so, and that's there you go. And I think that's the difference, is truly what it is that we can't. Poor jokes and insensitivity, even when it comes to things like, rape jokes. Boo. Even, I mean, I'm not saying it's cool, because even I knew back in the day, I was all like, blackface is not a really good look for plenty of reasons. The least of which is racism, because I learned very early on about the blackface, in music, music culture and stuff like that was actually used, not just like, I'm going to have this weird frat party where we all dress up in blackface because edgy. Like, what the fuck? Like, we're literally telling you this is the dumbest shit ever. Stop doing that. And you decide to throw a party edgy with that as a theme.
I remember like 5th grade, our teacher, and of course I was in New Jersey as I was in the north at the time when this happened. Our teacher was like, and during when we were going through American history, they're like, and then there came a time where white people were stupid and they started dressing up in blackface. And
period has not ended.
But this was like this was for me like in 1980s. My teacher had to be like 70 something. Mrs. Charles. She was like this old woman, stooped down. She was like, and this happened, and it was a bunch of bullshit. And the class was like, oh, she said bullshit. And then she explained why it was bullshit. And I'm like, then I moved to the South, and like, I guess. And it's like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah. It's willful ignorance on the part of everybody, on the part of the people that enact it, and they're continuing to do it. Oh, it's just a joke. Or, oh my God, being down here, and Bill, you know these things. Yep. No, I don't know where you're located, but yeah, I'm almost, I hope that you aren't in an area of the country that's like so many Confederate flags.
Central Ohio. I mean, they're around, but it's not like a million.
Yeah, no, I'm down.
The further south you get, the shittier it gets.
And then now there's this whole movement, and it's been for a few years, but this whole it's heritage, not hate. Yeah, your heritage is wanting slaves and racism and assholes. Bye. You're right. It's heritage. Okay. Keep proving my
you
point.
Want to flaunt? Yeah, you want to flaunt your love of hateful things.
And being Nazi was a part of a social club at first. And being a Nazi was just a part of being a social club at first.
Well, Nazism, and this is not me making an excuse for it. The Nazism was like, that's why we see what we see now with the alt-right. Like, I'm like, oh, no, I need to smack people that were just like, you're a grammar Nazi, or I'm a grammar Nazi, or feminazi, or da-da-da-da, because y'all like watered down the term. And so when you go back now, you're just like, no, you're literally becoming a Nazi. Let me point all this out to you. They're just like, that doesn't, everybody calls everybody else a Nazi. I'm like, no, you did this. It's the same thing as the participation trophies. I was like, don't bag on millennials and Gen Xers for getting participation trophies that you freaking gave us. Like, fuck right off. Sorry. Sidebar.
Yeah. I mean,
I got a huge beef about that one. I was just like, participation trophies didn't make me feel good. They made me feel like shit.
So,
yeah.
Richard, how do you feel about participation trophies?
Made me feel like shit, and I fucking hate them. Fuck you, and then fuck every boomer in the universe that says, oh my God, these entitled millennials. I was like, number one, thanks for skipping over the other batch of crotch goblins you kicked out, meaning us. Number two, Who?
It's okay. They forgot about us Gen Xers.
Right?
It's
Exactly.
okay.
That we this is where we live.
We'll just lace up our docks and watch the world burn.
Thank you. Exactly. I'm like, I'm too old for this. Too old. I'm too bitter for this shit, man. We were trying, and I've heard even people of our generation is like, we could have done more. With what? All 12 of us? We could have been a huge movement. Yeah, we had the numbers. Millennials have the numbers. The boomers had more than their fair share of numbers. I was like, y'all got like y'all had like phase 1 and phase 2. Like, what the fuck? You know, what the hell is that about? But like, you know, us, like all 12 of us, what were we supposed to do? You know, our political rallies looked sad. They looked like barbecues. Sad barbecues. But anyway,
the kind where white people bring raisins.
My God, no! I would have turned around and walked away with that shit. Like, even me, I'm all like, no, you know, no paprika or nothing. Have you seen that? That is one of the funniest skits lately. Black Jeopardy. Not lately. It's actually
especially the T'Challa one.
T'Challa shows up. Oh
my God!
My God!
Yeah, where he's being so gentle and trying to talk this shit out about, and he's in character, and we all know Chadwick Boseman knows exactly what white nonsense is.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he does. Like, oh yeah.
And he's like, I can't do this, but I gotta do this.
Oh yeah.
So she doesn't season her potato salad. No.
Yep. Oh,
and we all know that bitch. Yeah. And she's trying. She's very trying.
I'm trying. Yeah, she's very trying. She's trying. Oh, yes, she is. That was always my thing. Well, she was trying. Oh, yeah, very trying. People are just like, what? I'm like, yeah, I'm a bitch. I'm sorry about it. Not really. But yeah.
It's the people don't get that right away, and that's possibly the best part.
No, isn't it great? I'm just like, I love it. I'm sorry. Not really. But that's probably the thing. That's why I'm loving a lot of the millennial like things, you know, because I'm like, this wasn't us. Sorry, #sorry not sorry. That wasn't us. But you know what? I will look at the next millennial and be all like, hey, thank you. Your world is rocked. How so?
What's up?
The trying thing. I didn't know about that.
Oh shit, you just picked up on that shit?
You okay?
All right.
Because every time I've said it, I've honestly said it like in earnest. So whenever it's been said about me,
yeah. Well, don't go back and you look at the situation. It's self-reflection. We're talking about this right now. You know, go back and look at the context of the situation. Were you really being trying? Or were you making an effort? And therefore, somebody with a play on words, they weren't making that about you. You know, they're just like,
right.
I was trying. Yes, we understand. You know,
we acknowledge that you put forth effort.
Exactly. As opposed to looking you up and down and going, you were trying, all right. Excuse me. You know, like, exactly.
No, see, if it was said like that, I would have gotten that.
I know. Yeah, I was like, I'm sorry, but Bill, you're not that obtuse. You know, so the thing is. But bringing it back to like the whole like, can people? What about that change? What about that growth? We want that, and so I ask you, Bill.
Yeah, we want that.
We want that. Yes, we desperate. Even the most nasty. Well, not maybe the most nasty of us. You know, like there are some of there's a branch or two out there in the world of feminism that it's just like, no, we hate you all and we just cage you up for your fucking, you know, sperm and fuck off. And
those aren't
us.
Those aren't feminists.
Yeah, those are not feminists.
Those aren't feminists at all. No. If you're not inclusive, who the fuck is your feminism for?
Exactly. Thank you so much. And people don't understand, like even my own husband has like defended me against some alt-right motherfuckers that decided to like get on my case about you don't understand about what men go through and you don't care, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, excuse me, cishet white male here? Yeah, she does.
Oh, you had a white guy. That was awesome.
That's
Or at least a cishet male.
It's like,
That's my job now. That literally is my job now. I am your white guy.
but it's just like, and no, actually, she does give a shit because she does understand. Because you know
Mhm.
why? All the toxicity that we fucking belt out because it's been ingrained in us affects them too. So not for nothing, it's not altruistic when it comes to this, but it is. It does include men. I don't want them to be toxic. I don't want you to die early, out of your fucking like swallowed rage and fucking, abusive traits and all your bullshit. I don't want you to perpetuate the cycle of abuse and trauma. I don't want you to do that. I want you to be healthy. I want you to cry if you because it's a biological goddamn function. Hello. Crying is a biological response. It's a physiological response to something.
Yeah, I want them to be able to talk about America's ass and not be like, but I'm not gay. I was like, nobody cares. I want that to be a natural conversation.
And don't say no homo at the end of it. Thank you. Okay, yes, exactly.
Yes.
I had a wrestling podcast, and one of the things that we did constantly on the podcast or outside the podcast was we would talk about Finn Balor's abs. And like more like a damn type thing. And almost every single one of us were like straight guys, except for the one gay guy. But it was like,
but still, like, it's an acknowledgement of that is a work. That is a thing of beauty and pain and work. Somebody with those kind of abs, you're just like, dude, you did not come out of the womb with those things.
That is America's ass.
Those are America's abs, and that is America's ass. Like, bam, done. And we move along with our day like it's the most natural shit in the universe because it should be.
Because it's like one of the major things. I do Movember every year, and one of the primary reasons I do that is mostly because of men's mental health issues.
Boy, howdy do you guys have some.
I wonder sometimes if the male circle of friends I have now that can be open about that shit, if they were around when I was with my ex, would I have gotten out of that relationship earlier?
Possibly.
Because they
yeah.
Because
that's a good
like,
possibility.
They would be like, "I'll just kick that shit to the curb" or whatnot. They'd be like, "Dude,
oh, you, bruh, yeah, broski, bromeo,
dude, that bitch."
Yeah, and it's not, and it's because and you can tell that. And is it me? I don't know. Maybe I'm like I know I'm not special when I'm like, you can tell the fucking difference between, oh yeah, she's just a crazy bitch, and they're just blowing off like emotional labor that they don't want to do. Because if every single one of your exes was a crazy bitch, I kind of statistically doubt that. There's got to be a common denominator in these things, and you might want to analyze.
It's your sad
dick.
You might. If all your exes are crazy bitches, the common denominator is you have a terrible dick.
Yeah.
And you're an awful person.
I'm going to go with awful person first, and then possibly your dick, because your dick is actually, weirdly enough, I know men don't believe this, but your dick is secondary to the whole situation because you worked on becoming an awful person prior to your dick being coming into its own and its full capacity in adulthood. You know what I'm saying? Like, this started earlier than your dick, motivation.
Fair.
So I'm just like, that's a secondary problem, but let's work on the other thing first. And yes, it's you, buddy. Like, if every single one of your exes was a psychopath, quote unquote, maybe you are a fucker and you're the asshole. That being said, when you have a bunch of people, male, you are male, you are of the same groupage, peerage, and they look at you and go, bruh, this behavior is not right. Like, she's doing these things and they are causing these reactions in you, and that is unhealthy. Yeah, you can throw out she's a bitch and a psychopath, like whatever, but that's not like that your first go-to, which is what a lot of men will do. The more toxic friendships. Exactly. So you're saying, exactly. I believe that you would have had a far better, more fighting chance of getting out sooner had you had those more supportive and open, non-toxic male friendships in your life.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yeah, that's one of the things that men have to understand with that. And these guys have done Movember with me too, after I brought it through. But it's like, if you that's one of the reasons why I'm a feminist, is because I want to have normal relationships with people. And when I say relationships, I'm not talking about romantic relationships. I'm talking about regular being people relationships.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Platonic and otherwise.
Right.
And
right.
You need to be able to talk to people, not just professional therapists, which I have done before, but
that gets a little expensive. I mean, like, and they're guides, but they're not going to be there with you to help you with those tools, to use those, enable those mental tools, all the time. Like, you can't just be all like, yo, bitch, like, help me out here, I've got a problem. But you can call up one of your boys and you can do that and get support that way. So yeah, exactly. And to me, that's just common fucking sense, man. Like, why wouldn't you want to live longer and be less toxic?
I mean, I can imagine, and I'm going to probably mention this to the boys tomorrow, because I'm actually on Thursday, because we're actually hanging out. One of them has a job elsewhere, so he's no longer with our daily group, so to speak. I would have been able to talk about the actual stuff that was happening, which guys just don't do, because they have to be all hard and shit and say, oh, everything's going fine, nothing's going on, don't worry about it. Because we kind of like forced this crap out of each other to just like, we need to get to a point just so we could be healthy and deal with that. And
yes.
I want other people to have what I have. And the worst thing about everything, especially with my last relationship, is I used to tell my ex, you need to go out and make friends so you could have people to talk to about shit, because I can't be there for all your emotional labor, because I know some of your emotional labor is going to be about me. And
precisely.
You need to be able to work through that. Not realizing that I'm telling her, this is how you have to be happy, without doing it myself.
Right, exactly. And without getting into too many personal details on my behalf, because they're not my own personal details to deal with. I have been, Bill, a little bit about this on the sidebar, and like Noelle, I have no problem telling you about it, at a later juncture, but I'm just not going to do it on a podcast, no offense. I deal with this, I deal with this whole like, there's toxic masculinity levels, and it needs, and mental health when it comes to, and mental illness when it comes to men, especially, where it's just like, you're either not diagnosed, you're improperly diagnosed. If on the off chance you are, that is an absolute rarity, as opposed to what, and when you're not diagnosed with this stuff, and I'm like, it's still called illness, and people are just like, yo, well, it's just your brain. It's mental illness. That just, those are just emotions and feels. You understand it literally originates from an organ inside of your body, right? The one that controls everything.
No, I was told it was beamed in by aliens.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Fuck Xenu. Okay. Whatever. I'm way too close to fucking like, one of the, Scientology Central 2.0, like, the only reason I don't want to firebomb that fucking city is because my aunt still owns the first gay bar ever in Clearwater. So I would like her to keep her business. Aside from that, whatever. Yeah, that's crazy shit. But no, seriously, it's like it was beaten out of you. It was fucking bitched out of, it was like yelled out of you or whatever. And you were believed they're like, yeah, toughen up. dude, no. It's literally an organ in your body. If you want to go with logic and fuck emotion, it is literally an organ in your body that's causing you problems. So if your liver's causing you fucking problems, you go get liver things done. You'll do that. But even men won't do that shit because they're just like, you are in pain and you suffer too long because you're told to, toughen up, man, grow some balls. And I'm just like, really? And and you stay and suffer. And then, when you do finally get, diagnosed with cancer, it is stage 3 to 4 and you're beyond hope, i.e. my father. It is a big, that's a big thing. And I'm like, no, your emotions are, I don't know how to put it to men who don't want to admit that they don't have emotions. You know what I mean? That they have emotions. They're just like, oh, no, I don't cry. I don't do this. I don't do that. Okay. All right. How do I put this so you understand it and you think it's based and you feel the understanding of based in logic? You are a biological entity and it all works together. And these things originate from your skull. So, and the brain inside of it. And so why wouldn't you try to find ways to, live better and live longer? And let, and why, and I want that because why? It's not altruistic. I'm not just in it for the dudes on this one either. I don't want you to keep belching your bullshit toxicity all over me and expect me to fucking do all the emotional labor and clean up. Years.
Yeah, we're tired.
We're tired. Thank you, Noelle. So a bitch gets tired. A bitch is tired. A bitch is tired. So fucking tired.
A girl is fucking done with it.
Yeah. A girl has no more. Yeah. Thank you. Spoons. I ain't got no shivs left. Like, are you kidding me? I'm sick. I'm tired. And and I'm like, I literally can't unravel because that would affect other people that I care about. And so guess what, kids? We're all in this symbiotic little system because my behavior affects you. Your behavior affects me. And there you go. So it doesn't exist in a vacuum.
No, it doesn't. On mental health, because it's May and it's Mental Health Month.
Yes.
I'm going to try to throw out some mental health shit about me every
bitches.
podcast.
That's us. And sorry, but I'm crazy. I can say it. Fuck off.
I had an incident last month. I have ADHD, and with that, I have rejection sensitive dysphoria, and oh my god,
preach to this choir, girl. Preach to the converted. Go on. I too have severe ADHD. So like amongst other problems,
fucking sucks.
Yeah.
The rejection sensitive dysmorphia is dysphoria is mind blowing. Whatever it calls itself, I'll look it up.
I wonder if cocaine's good for that.
But cocaine is if you're growing your own. Otherwise, it's exploitative and bad for the environment. Grow your own coke, kids.
Right.
Excellent.
Don't get into the human trafficking of the drug trade. It's terrible.
Yes.
Okay, so
that's another moment.
You say that if I grow my own, you'll allow me to have it?
Yes.
Okay,
cocaine is way too temporary. Don't do it. Cocaine is way too temporary.
But
and being having undiagnosed ADHD and undiagnosed narcolepsy for
it's so much harder.
3.5 decades of my life, at least for the one, and then the most recent diagnosis was the ADHD over about 2 years ago, maybe at best. I'm 40. I'm almost 45. So this is how long I have suffered unmedicated, unlistened to, misdiagnosed, and just it's fuckery. So like this whole the rejection dysphoria or dysphoria.
Yeah, here it is. Rejection sensitive dysphoria. It means it can mean extreme emotional sensitivity and emotional pain, and it may imitate mood disorders with suicidal ideation and manifest as instantaneous rage at the person responsible for causing the pain. This shit fucking sucks.
And thank you for providing a link, because that is amazing.
That's how we do.
Sensitive dysphoria can be in streaming. Yes. Okay. I also have body.
It is always true.
Yeah. I have body dysphoria. I have body dysmorphia, but it's the suspicion is that comes from the sleep disorder. Weirdly enough. Yeah, it's not born of its own thing, but it was born of the hypnopompic hallucinations, and then then personal, obviously, like viewpoints in yourself, and then fluctuating with my weight so hard, and just crazy shit. But yeah, so you had an incident with it, but it was last month, so nobody cares. No, I'm just kidding.
Okay, fine, nobody cares.
Oh my god, but teasing.
I know. I want to talk about, because this goes back to it's all in your head. It felt like somebody
is all in our
hit
head.
Me in the
because it's our,
but here's
brain.
The physical manifestation. I felt like I had been hit in the chest with an icy hot paintball. There was this cold burning that radiated out, and I sat with this feeling, and I was talking to my he's autistic, so his empathy is stunted, whereas mine, I have too much of it.
I remember this.
Okay, right.
I feel all the feels. But I sat with this feeling, and I'm describing it, and he's like, that doesn't sound healthy. Are you okay? Do you need to go to a doctor? And I go, no, I know exactly what it is, but it was this surface. It was like I had icy hot smeared on my chest.
So what you're saying is you had a physiological / biological response to your mental illness?
Yeah, shockingly enough, the pain... The shock to my system manifested physically. Yes.
Get the fuck out of here.
I know, right?
Mind blown. And if I am not portraying enough dripping sarcasm out of all of my comments right now, I am not doing my job properly. Because
well, it's that whole, it's in your head. Yeah, I physically felt pain because of
my brain,
this emotional thing. It was terrible.
That's why. Oh, can I rant for a minute? Can I rant for just a minute?
Go. Yeah, that's what this whole thing is we rant for an indeterminate amount of time, and then Bill cries because he has to edit it all.
I love you. Keep asking me back. Oh my god, really? This is like I might not have to pay for therapy. No, I'm just kidding.
Hey, I'll be honest. Between you and between our previous guest Alpha Rift, a part of me is like, I'm just gonna sit back, get these people for Noel, and just let you guys talk. I'm just gonna
have a new friend. Because I like friends. Because it's like, wait, yay, which is weird for my weird social anxiety. My weird not social anxiety is, and I'll step into that in a minute. But it's like completely the opposite of like almost everybody else's that I know and they experience. But I'll talk about that in a second. What was I saying before that?
But I was basically saying I just wanted to like sit here like, maybe I'll just get Alpha Rift, maybe I'll just get Gretchen, and just keep going back and forth between you two with Noel, and let you guys go, and I'll just be the white dude that occasionally will say something when a white dude needs to say something.
I was like, wait a minute, did they just join?
I'm the techie in the back.
Yeah, go girls! Yay! No, and that's so funny because it's sidebar to that, the sidebar to the sidebar to the sidebar to the whatever to the derailed like an Amtrak. I have to say,
choo choo,
right? I have to say that Bill, you are one of those people that apparently I've clearly I influenced your saviorness. Great, cool. I mean, I'm not the fucking Messiah. I never have been. Like I am not an example. I'm not an idol. I am a cautionary tale. But if somebody can pull, nuggets of something out of what I have to say, I'm like, good for you. Thank you so much. And it really is. It really means a lot to me to understand that. I'm like, I had a good effect on people. But oh god, what was a fucking shit? No, the meds are wearing off. And then I could say the meds are wearing off. Noel now understands exactly what the fuck I'm saying because I'm just like, I can't take it too late. I don't have insurance, so
No,
I should be
I
on
have
Vyvanse.
I have ADHD too.
I've heard Vyvanse is fucking the devil.
Oh God, no, not for me. Biochemically,
Like-
neurochemically, that shit is it's that pill. I'm Bradley Cooper in Limitless with Vyvanse because it metabolizes properly within me.
Okay, because I've heard the side effects of not taking it are a fucking monster.
I mean,
like, you need to be on it. If you skip it, you crash like a motherfucker.
Oh yeah, but unfortunately for me, that's how I process all of the methamphetamines. Basically, like all of the stimulants. In that way, I process them out really fast, and so therefore I'm a fast metabolizer of that particular family of drug. And I have medical proof for this because I took a genetic test to see how I process different drug families and interactions, proving once and for all, and I have paperwork to prove it if I ever had to go to another doctor, say, if you put me on a selective reuptake inhibitor of any kind, you should go fuck yourself. I won't take them because I can't. Like, my receptors just don't hang, right? So it just fucks me up. And it was like, how are you trying to make me a better, more centered person when you've just made me fat with no sex drive and a foggy brain where I can't think, but also misdiagnosis?
That's how I felt on Paxil.
Oh.
Yeah, I must not metabolize them correctly either. Because you give me Adderall twice a day, life is good.
Exactly. But the thing was with Adderall Vyvanse is Adderall. However, Vyvanse is like nice, new, shiny. It does not have an off-brand equivalent, does not have a generic version yet. And it's basically your extended release. And so that's why you will crash if you don't take it for a day, because it's just like, oh, you've been on this and you don't have, wait, what? We don't have the next shipment? Crash. Adderall is a little bit different because I do take the same amount, I do take the same thing twice. I don't take it twice a day. It says twice a day, but I break them up even more and I spread it out more. Because XR being an extended release, and I can't even afford the Adderall XR, the bitch with the very severe ADHD has to plan and set 7 alarms just to take her fucking medications throughout the day, evenly distributed. But I'm also on a adrenal stimulant called Provigil, but that's for the narcolepsy. And so now that's something that'll mess me up, because if I don't take that once it gets out of my system, like there's been times when I haven't had it and then I go back on it, you don't want to talk to me for a week. It'll be fine, but I am hair trigger. Literally just hair trigger rage because it's an adrenal stimulant. So it's just like, I haven't had it for a while, and then I get it back in my system and I'm like, fuck you. And I will just bad She-Hulk fucking situations. It's awful. It's not pretty. So I just basically stay away from people and keep my mouth shut for a while, and then it just evens out and it's fine. So I understand that crash. But I'm also instructed to not one day a week. I don't take my meds because I need that day where I actually eat, or I actually don't get too desensitized to it because of that. But yeah, that swab test, I didn't have the insurance to cover it, and the company was like, how much money do you make? And I was like, barely nothing. And they're just like, yeah, throw us $25, you're fine. They were really good about it. So just, I think it's called GeneSight. I'll try to find a link, Noelle, and send it to you, because you might want that, because that will, oh my God, that will open up a world of less fuckery when it comes to trying drugs and different drug interactions.
Yeah, I would appreciate finding out more about what I can do, because most of the treatments for rejection sensitive dysphoria are like SSRIs, and I'm like, I can't take that. It will fuck with the primary medication that allows me to get out of bed and handle my shit.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like about.
I have to deal with physical pain, and constant little voices in my head being like, nobody likes you.
Exactly.
Your entire life is on sufferance, and no one can tell you differently.
Mhm.
Your husband only married you because he's settling.
Yeah, I get bit.
My husband, who had literally nothing, married me, and he's settling.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Oh my god, I'm getting such a face. He's within earshot, and he's leaning over and he's giving me the bitch, are you on your bullshit again face?
See, no, I'm in the dressing room and I shut the door. I was like, honey, I'm doing that thing again. And he's like, cool. Bye. And I was like, when I emerge, I will let you know. Like, or, maybe if I emerge, like I might have to dip for like 5 minutes to go get another drink because I went through all of it. Cause I'm parched. This is parch worthy work. But yeah.
This is some work.
Mm-hmm.
We are doing some emotional labor here.
But this is good emotional labor, because if anybody listens to the fact that, it's not, I'm happy to do it. This is one, like when Bill asked me to do it, I was just like, fuck yeah, man. Yeah. Hopefully I can like redeem myself from the Vicarious podcast, because I felt like I was a chaotic all over the place. What the fuck is she talking about? Crazy bitch. I was just
shit. I think we were briefly talking on Facebook, and I think I was getting judged about the whole me and spoilers thing. About the fact that when somebody's excited about something...
Oh, yeah, it wasn't the spoilers, it was gatekeeping. Yeah, I think we were, yeah.
Well, it was gatekeeping about the about Rick and Morty in that case. But I was having a similar conversation at the same time about liking spoilers. Or listening to spoilers or accepting spoilers from people. When we did that podcast, I was just sitting there like, and like listening to everything coming out of your mouth, because it was like this was this giant ball of energy, and she probably fell right asleep due to her narcolepsy as soon as we were done. But
that's the funny thing is, no. I didn't, but my narcolepsy is weird. I don't have the catalepsy that goes with it, so therefore it's not the neuromuscular issue. Although I do have the excessive daytime and I can easily fall asleep. It's more about my sleep cycle.
I gotcha.
And I don't go into I don't go into the REM situation where you heal in your.
Oh,
I know that.
Great.
And I have
that's the best.
So I don't heal when I sleep like humans do. And then I have hypnopompic hallucinations, which means it's the after I wake up shit. So I'm like, did we have this conversation, or did I sleep this? Did I have this conversation? Did I sleep this conversation? Did I do that? Did I do this thing? I don't remember. Oh shit, And so it's a brand new day every time I wake up. You know what I'm saying? I'm just like, did I have that conversation with that person? Because if I did, oh shit, but I didn't, or whatever, or forgetting, or telling, like, did I tell that story 17 different times? I think I did. Shit, fuck, So like I said, I was like, I'm happy to be here because I was like, I feel like I have to redeem myself, but apparently I was just this like hugely, wildly entertaining ball of chaos. But
that's
Bill, you were talking
what everybody told me. Yes.
Oh, well, that's fabulous. I love it. What to get onto that, because that leads into two things. Was like, I wanted to get back to the whole like, well, Bill, what about what we talked about? And just think about it for a second. What about what we talked about put you on that path of like not becoming the alt-right, entitled, rage-filled douchebag, as opposed to like,
it all comes down to, for me, I think it really boils down to environment. If I didn't, I tell people my worst fear, and why I had the other podcast, is that if I never moved from the South, I'd be wearing a Make America Great Again hat.
Right.
Because of what I just said. I sit here, I'm excited about your excitement.
Right.
However, I don't live in the South anymore. I live in liberal Boston. Around people that have serious physical issues, social issues,
Mhm.
race issues, issues with sexism,
Mhm.
and it's not fun because they're not excited about it. They need to do this shit to live.
Right.
And we go back about being Gen X and not doing anything. Basically, for me, I'm not one that's going to be out there protesting because I'll be honest, I don't have the physical capability to do that for an extended period of time.
And that's another issue with that ties into a lot of things. People are like, why aren't you out there? I was like, are you kidding me? All the people I know have fibro or this or that or they, whatever, like they feel these feels and they want to do the work, but that's not the work that they should be doing. Like, that's not where they're going to be the most effective. But yes, exactly. So you're not good, you're physically, like, you understand. I get you. I see what you're saying.
Right. So it's like,
long form agreement.
I have money, I'm going to say, let me give you a donation if I feel that it's something that I could give a donation. But basically, the biggest sink of money that I've done to try to do anything has been this podcast. I out-of-pocket expenses I went through, I paid for the website, I paid for the hosting for a year just to make sure that we can be at least doing this for a year, not the month-to-month thing that I was doing before. I go through, it's like all I can do is be the white guy that's like not even saying anything, and even though my Toastmasters experience says, you need to say shit. No, my saying shit is, yes, hi, I'm the white guy, I'm backing her up, listen to her. Hi, I'm the white guy. See that black guy there? I'm backing him up. Listen to him. Because that's the best role I could play, is being the white guy, the straight white guy, the straight middle-aged white guy, to go through and be supportive in any way I can possible, as long as you're not trying to do something to harm other people. Great.
You got to that point for a reason. And
that's the disconnect. It's like,
reason that you're here as opposed, and for whatever choices you made, things that resonate as to why you are now here. So it doesn't. Yes, I'm acknowledging you're like, this is what I do, and this is where I'm best served for this now. And I'm like, okay, great. We need more of you. That's awesome. How did you get to this point? So other people like yourself can get to that same point. You see what I'm saying? Like, yeah, that's part of the work.
I see what you're saying.
And I know you're trying to be all like, no, let me go back to the back. And I'm not putting you in front. I am not putting you back on the podium per se. I'm just saying, like, it needs to be acknowledged. And I'm not saying like, you guys need cookies. No, you don't.
No, I know what you're trying to say. I know what you're trying to say.
It's like, if we're doing good work, what are we doing? Like, like very specifically, because we need to recreate that. It's just like, whether it's bottling it or whatever the fuck, not really, but you know what I'm saying? Well, just like, that's the kind of the message that I'm just like,
I'm basically
how we get here? Like,
yeah, basically how I got here in this case, I don't know. I just went with the current.
At that point, it was an organic, yes.
Yeah.
Like the podcast, it seems like that was like, this is my, a relatively, really organic expression of this is how I do the work.
And this podcast is because of Noelle.
I refuse to be blamed.
She's like, nope.
Because
not sticking me with this shit, motherfucker.
Because she accidentally put the idea in my head, and it just sat there and grew and grew and grew. And I'm like, hey, Noelle, what about this? And she's like, I'm not getting involved in this shit, but if I do get involved, this, and this. And I'm like, okay.
And you need to get permission from the photographer you took that picture from.
Which they never responded to me. But
what now?
All right, so
I was like,
in the episode, there was an episode where that was never released, where Noelle interviewed me for my podcast. It was released as a episode for this. And she made she was trying to dig in deep, so to speak, about why I was doing the other podcasts and things of that nature. And she's like, and here I thought we were just gonna talk about feminism and watch you get all adorable about feminism. And she said something to the effect of, Two Angry Feminists podcast.
It was yet another Angry Feminist podcast.
Yeah.
And I just took one Noelle models. I saw a picture that I thought helped put that. And I just wrote that in like one of those edgelord Vampire the Masquerade fonts.
Yeah.
And just gave it like a title treatment. And she was like, "Get the permission from the photographer," and that's what I asked you about the name, Gretchen.
Yeah. That's what it's like. I was like, I like that, but I see where I personally see where you're going with that one, but I was just like,
so
I see misinterpretation problems here, but that's just probably like my mark.
Which is why Noelle was smart enough to go, yeah, maybe we should ask about this first.
Right, because it's just like, oh, on one hand, I totally see that, because it's like, oh, ha ha ha.
We curse a lot, or Noelle curses a lot.
Right.
I have said fuck a lot less than people thought I was going to say fuck.
I know. Apparently, like we were supposed to go toe to toe for fuck counts.
It's
phrasing, but like still, I was like, wait a minute, and here I'm still the one that's like, I'm still cursing like a fucking trucker, and you're just kind of like, I was just like, she's so much more refined in her languages than me. This is like weird. I'm just teasing.
Well, we haven't been angry. Look, if we get fucking angry about shit, I'll say some fucking fucks.
I'm not making you angry, so I don't know what I'm supposed to do. No, I'm just kidding.
We were excited for a minute. I said fuck an awful lot before your mic kicked back in.
oh yeah, she did say fuck a lot during that.
I could hear it. Yeah. I just couldn't. Yeah, it was like my hearing was good. The audio was fine. It was just like the mic sucked. I was like, motherfucker.
I think we got all fucked out during the end game.
Might have gotten off that.
I really think we need to. I think we need to work on our phrasing here. Language.
Full circle. Anyway, but yeah, I just where was I on the whole thing? Yeah, but I think that's come to the thing where where it's like, yeah, the table's on you, man. Like, hey, look at this.
Yeah, basically the answer to that is
that shit, buddy, and you're just like,
Basically, my answer to that generally is I don't know how I got here. If I lived in the South, I'd be a Trump supporter.
And see, there's some people that I know in pockets in the South, obviously.
No, and see, I'd be the worst type of Trump supporter in this regard. I would be the silent Trump supporter. You wouldn't know I'm a Trump supporter because I would have been like, I'm not going to talk about politics. I'm not going to talk about religion. I'm not going to talk about anything. It's just too much of a hot button issue, and I don't want to do that. And if you try to talk to me about it, I'm just going to block you out of my life.
Right, and that's just the thing is like what everybody assumes about a lot of the alt-right and the support, guys, and the supporters, whatever, is like that every single last one of them are the tiki torch.
Yes.
No, most of them are quiet. Most of them are exactly that way. Quiet.
I was like, oh no, you don't seem to understand. It's like we've all know. And so when it comes out, like all this, but racism still in America, I was like, are you being funny? Are you doing a bit, or did you hit your head? How did you not know this was happening? Oh,
You having a stroke?
Are you having a stroke? Yeah.
Well, where will I live, there's no racism. I have a black friend.
Right, exactly. And so I was just like, and I'm saying, Noelle, you can probably like attest to this one.
Mm-hmm.
Like, they're actually legitimately shocked that bad shit is still thought and, whatever. And this, I can't believe this. I'm like, where have you been?
Wow.
Yeah, where have you been? Where have you been? Oh, I'm sorry, I forgot. Says white boys never experienced.
Yeah.
Non-involvement. You have been unbothered by any of this, and therefore you.
Yeah, it's really frightening, especially when. I'm gonna go back to my friend, who I love dearly, but just oh my god, you don't even know how little you know. Like, there's levels to go before we get to Jon Snow, in terms of knowing nothing. Like, we have to level up to that level of ignorance.
Bitch, you in the red on what you know, like negative balance of knowing.
The only the only thing that is remotely non-spoiler is that after the last episode, Jon Snow is the worst person ever, and I will just send it like that because Ghost.
Yeah, okay.
Ghost is the best boy. I don't even watch the show, but the dog.
I'll go
dog.
Boy.
Dog wins.
Yes. But that's just me, like, going on about dogs, not, like, whatever. I actually have not... John Wick is the John that goes to... Fuck yes! John Wick is the John that Ghost deserves. Yes, thank you. You're right. I don't know what happened. Yes. I haven't been watching, to be honest with you. I missed the last 3 episodes
I don't care.
Of last season. And I was just like, something turned a dragon into a white dragon scary, and something incest, something
Targaryen, blah, blah, blah.
And I was like, I did get up to that point where Cersei killed everybody, which I was just like, wow, I have the weirdest lady boner right now. And I was just like, I'm not.
She is such a bad bitch, and people do not love her enough.
She's awful,
I know she's supposed to be the villain.
And I'm almost like, but there's a reason. It's not just this like shitty backstory, like, or whatever.
Yeah, the world she lives in is complete shit. She is playing the game harder than anyone else.
And
she doesn't have plot armor. She doesn't have fucking magic hero bullshit.
And
she's the villain, and she's winning. Through sheer force of will.
Some fucking reason
she had quote unquote villain.
If some fucking reason she had some sort of weird redemption story arc, I'd be pissed. I mean, like, bitch, no, I'm done with this fucking. Fuck you. I'm like, no, give me my good villains as well. And for the love of God,
what are you gonna do about?
Make him a chick.
Real villains.
Like which gets me in. However.
You cut out again. You're cutting in and out.
I know why. I had the mic.
There you are.
The mic moved up to the back. Just shut up. I'm tragic. Shut up. I don't know how things work. I don't know how anything works. Anyway, I literally had the microphone pushed up to be even with the rest of my headset for some fucking reason. I have no idea why. Anyway, Carol Danvers, not a villain, obviously, but origin story wise, can I tell you how like that was almost like that was a clutching sob, like a gaspy sob, that part of her backstory and her motivation was not in fact that she was sexually assaulted.
I mean, that was nice.
That
I mean, she was kidnapped and gaslit and emotionally abused.
I'm not saying she did not experience trauma. What I am saying is that it wasn't fucking like. I'm not saying like she didn't have any fucking have to deal with adversity. What I'm saying is when they were going through her brain, and then dude was like, they call it a cockpit for a reason, and they were getting drunk and everything. I was like, no, don't do this to me. Don't do this to me. don't do this to me. Don't make it. And then she gets attacked in the freaking parking lot. Don't do this to me. They didn't do it to me. And I was so fucking happy. I cried. I was like, thank you. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Because there are other forms of trauma and fucking shit.
Yes.
And she experienced that because there you go. Gaslighting, fucking kidnapping, brainwashing. Yeah.
Toxic men.
Thank you. And so when I'd actually put up a thing on Instagram today, it was a picture of, I had one of those little mystery chibis for Captain Marvel. And of all the ones, I get Jan Rog.
Ah!
I was like,
No!
yes.
No!
Yes.
Why does he even have a thing?
I don't know. I was like, there was even Ronan was in there. I was like, man, I just don't want, I'll take anybody.
Yeah, fuck that fucker.
Fuck all of them fuckers. But what do I
You
get?
just get to see how spectacularly awful he is.
Mm-hmm. But but I was just like, I'm going to turn this shitty situation into positive because number one, the other little chibi mystery one that I got from the Marvel Universe, I actually got Gwen Stacy, but Spider-Gwen.
Spider-Gwen! I don't even like Spider-Mans, but Spider-Gwen.
I am absolutely newly obsessed with Spider-Gwen because Into the Spider-Verse just rocks my fucking socks off. But number one, number two, I'm making a Spider-Gwen hoodie. And number three, if Gwenum isn't the best portmanteau of having Venom as a symbiote,
that's a legit.
In all of existence,
I get it.
Yeah, and her costuming for when she's Gwenum is fucking sick, and so I'm making that costume too. So anyway, but I got her, so I was just like, okay, I'm gonna turn the Jan Rog thing into a positive. Every time I'm just fucking done, I'm gonna scream at Jan Rog. I don't owe you shit, bitch, or whatever the fuck I want to scream at it. I was just like, no. I'm gonna turn this into a.
I don't owe you shit.
I don't owe you shit. I'm gonna turn this into a positive. So that was it, but
that's the energy we need in 2019. Really,
I'm gonna turn a shitty mystery fucking chibi thing that I didn't want
into something useful.
Because even if I got Ronan, I would have taken my fucking Groot, baby Groot thing and my Rocket thing, and then posed them to beat him down. So I was just like, that yes. I would have done. That's fine. But no. And my Nebula. But no. Jan fucking Rog. Really? Fuck you. Why are you even in that pack? But like I said, I'm going to use you anyway.
Why do you even deserve a minifig?
Right?
I mean.
Why? And it's not even it's him with his fucking Star Force bullshit helmet. Face over it.
We don't even get to look to that beautiful skull.
Right.
I'm not a giant Jude Law fan, but that skull, I would mount that skull on a stick in a heartbeat.
He's very yes. I do have an appreciation for his aesthetic. I'm like, I can't be mad about your skull, your jawline, your bone structure, and yes, mounting it on a pipe would be nice, but still. Yeah, why are you even in there? There isn't even the fucking Marvel isn't even in there.
What?
Right. Now there's two mystery double dose mysteries because on the back they'll be all these are the possibilities, and then they have the two silhouettes. Now one is obviously Carol Danvers when she's getting her powers because her hair's off. Because the hair's all flipped out, you can tell from the thing. So I was just like, oh yeah, she's got her fucking shit going on. And then the second one is something else. I'm not sure. Could be Marvel. I'm thinking it's probably Carol Danvers in human drag, with her, jeans and her 9 Inch Nails t-shirt. And
I did love that.
I did. Except for one tiny, minuscule little thing, and this is from a costumer and from a costumer and a clothing designer state of mind, and this is it. It's a production note. That T-shirt was not available in 1995. I know I'm a bad person. I'm a bad person. I wish they were, because that was like, oh, that's the distressed, like, comfy one. When you started to use good, t-shirts didn't suck, and they weren't all Jill Dan fucking suck at shirts, even for concerts. You know what I mean? But I was just like, no, I went to that tour. That didn't exist. I'm sorry. But if that was my only bitch, really, that's it. Even the music.
It is
the life the time period and release
in their defense. Yeah, in their defense, that's so classic.
Oh, they had those t-shirts. They had 9 Inch Nails t-shirts out. I'm just saying, that white comfy one that was faded out, I'm like, they didn't have that at the time. So I was just like, that was it. But I was like, yeah, in a production standpoint, I'm like, yeah, you know what? I'll forgive you. That if that's my only sin, I forgive you.
Yeah, but I really do mean, in their defense, people are that specific shirt design is so iconic for the band that if they did anything earlier, some of the kids might not.
To be fair, it's not even the logo. This is how nerd picky I'm being about this. It's not even the logo, because that logo is actually time period proper. What it was printed on is not. See how minutia I'm getting on that one, and that's stupid.
That's ultra minutia.
I know. Yes, I know, and that's what I was saying. I was like, if that's my only beef, we're good. And it's literally everybody's like, Gretchen, why? Why did you even notice that? I was like, because that's what I fucking do sometimes. Shut up.
Hey, if people could notice a Starbucks cup in Game of Thrones,
oh my god, what was that?
I mean, that's kind of blatant.
You're allowed.
Kind of blatant.
You're allowed to notice. Well, that shirt it didn't exist in 1995.
Yes. That logo was because that was part of the Downward Spiral, which was released prior to 1995. So I'm fine with the logo. Like I said, it was still beef. Nice. But no, yeah, what's up with that Starbucks cup shit? Like, what the fuck? I woke up and
how do you fuck that up? How do you fuck up?
How do you fuck that up?
It was Downton Abbey all over again.
Downton Abbey? What did they put in Downton Abbey? A fucking
water bottle.
Are you are you serious? That's hilarious.
They went through and they did a bunch of photos to put out for press releases and things like that. No one noticed that on the back mantle where they're reposing or whatnot was a plastic water bottle.
Do you know how easy it would be to edit
that out?
The thing is, no one noticed it until it was already put out to the media.
There are people who specifically that's their job.
Just like the coffee cup.
Fuck both of those guys. Because I
wonder if it was the same person.
Completely. I better not be, because I'd be like, who hired your ass? Like, I'm sorry, that was the dude that worked on what now?
Downton Abbey.
Fuck that guy. You're out. Toss his fucking resume. Where I'm sitting here, I'm like, I am completely unemployed. You had this guy, these people get paid and they have one job, and I'm all like, fuck you. I'm like, that makes me mad. Because you can tell I seriously picked out like this stupid shit about a t-shirt. And it's so tiny, it was ridiculous. And I'm like, I would have found that fucking Starbucks cup.
We would have found that fucking Starbucks cup before it went out of the editing room.
Cameras. I'm like, I'm sorry. Excuse me, Harrington. Can you move over a little bit? Yeah, move your cute ass. Excuse me while I grab somebody's grande fucking latte. Bitches.
Whose fucking latte is this?
Whose fucking latte is this? Who did this? Who did this?
Daenerys.
This is Game of Thrones, not fucking Sharknado. What the fuck are we doing?
Not Mean Girls. I mean, it could be at this point. It could seriously be Mean Girls.
Oh, God, has it gotten that bad? See, I haven't, like I said, between that and the fact that I'm like, I haven't caught up. And then there's like, and then people start to want to ask me about like, fucking, what's the other one? Just like zombies. Coral. I can't say the guy's name. The kid.
Walking
No,
Dead. Coral.
Coral. I was like,
Carl.
the child is named Carl. Carl. Coral.
Are we really spending 5 minutes of our lives on
I
this?
know, yes, we are.
The mispronunciation of the name
Yeah,
Carl.
no, it's sad that I'm gonna say this, but as someone that lived on the Redneck Riviera, I knew 3 corals that were dudes.
Yeah, I knew a couple of dudes like that. Hey,
To reward people for emotional labor. Hi! Yeah.
to get better guests. Hey, now. Like, get what you pay for, kids.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
so-
I
I know,
here I am
right?
proving
We
your
fucking-
point. Sorry about that. My bad.
We are garbage panda people. If you want more entertaining to get experts.
I know. I
So-
knew what you meant. I was just thought it was funny. Speaking of that, you were talking about like everybody hates you. I'm like, I don't have a problem with the crowd of strangers because I don't give a solid fuck about what they think about me, like just a minty fresh shit about anything that they think about me. But if I know you and I respect you, I'm all like, she hates me. Why do you think that?
It's okay. I hate everybody. Everybody knows this.
No, but I'm like, for real. Like, yeah, I hate everybody, but I don't. But like, yeah. So I'm sitting here, I was like, they hate me. That's why they don't invite me out. That's why I'm like, no, they don't invite you out because you're kind of a problematic son of a bitch who's going through a lot of shit right now and have no money. So they don't want to be rude and ask you out. Because obligations, and then you're gonna feel bad. And I'm just like, I get it.
Gretchen puts on this complete. And it's not an appearance. She is, like she says, a 90s riot girl or whatnot. And every once in a while, she'll be like, oh, rah, riot. And then something will be said, and she's like, are you okay? I'm sorry if I'm
They were
sorry.
really mean. Yeah, that sounded really mean. Are you okay? I'm sorry.
No. I remember a post where you made a comment about tea kettles, and I was like, yeah, well, my ex basically had one in every room, and she's like, oh, I'm sorry, made you think about your ex. I'm like, oh, don't worry about it.
Well, no, but that's like, so occasionally, like I did that one time with somebody and like cookies or something, where I was just like, hey man, like these cookies are like, whatever now, you can have them. And they're like, I literally hate these things because like, like childhood reasons. And I'm just like, oh, how the fuck was I supposed to know, man? Like, oh, jeez, I'm sorry. And so it's a matter of like, I can go into crowds and you can be just crammed the fuck up with a bunch of strangers, and I'm just like, oh, look at all the meat sacks of human being, whatever the fucks. I don't care. Literally don't give a shit what you think about me. I could walk in and out of you. There could be 5 people in here. There could be 5,000. If I don't know you, fuck off. If I do know you, I'm all like, how you doing? You okay? Are we good? Are we okay? Are we friends? You didn't talk to me today. You didn't like look at me. You didn't hug me. Oh my God. And I freak out over it. So it's this literal thing where I'm like, I gotta squelch that shit.
All right.
Drugs help.
Yeah.
Drugs help.
I mean, that's me too.
Right.
We mentioned writing us, where we want you to write us about your stories, questions, comments.
Tell us your shit.
Tell us your shit. We actually got an email.
Oh, we got an email?
It actually came to our email address from my friend Donnie. He actually wrote us an email about this. It was a simple question, and both of you can answer this. What song, parentheses S songs, motivate you to smash the patriarchy?
Well, right now I'm jamming pretty hard on Juke Joint Jezebel. KMFDM.
Yeah, classic. My most recent hard jam on a lot of on that end, on the Smash the Patriarchy, has actually been Run the Jewel, and almost anything that they've done, especially Kill Your Masters, and Let's Go from the. Now, obviously, it's a little bit more on the race relations end of things, but I was just like, yeah, it all stems from the patriarchy anyway, so fuck it, let's go.
Well, the patriarchy is the patriarchy exists to oppress people of color even more than it oppresses white women.
Yes,
So
because at least if they're nice to us a little bit, white women will make their babies and perpetuate the cycle. But yeah, exactly. I know.
I'm gonna go with Animals by Dr. Dre.
Y'all getting classic on
That
me.
was
Well,
off
yeah,
the-
Animals. Yeah.
That was off the Compton soundtrack. And honestly, when I heard it the first time, I was like, it also features Anderson .Paak. When I've heard it the first time, I was like, I'm surprised that this song isn't on every single type of Black Lives Matter anything, because basically it's basically a song about the upper class and the patriarchy bringing down the lower class, especially in Black America, and only time that they ever care about Black America is when riots are happening or looting is happening, just so they could point out, oh my God, look at these animals. So
yeah, that's always that old chestnut. I can't. Ugh.
Oh,
Woo.
yeah, there's a lot there.
Yeah, I was like, lot to unpack. Let's talk about that for a second. And people are just like, oh, I can't believe this is just starting to happen. I'm like, what are you talking about just starting to happen? Like, with violence, especially police violence against, basically the reason why the Black Lives Matter movement started is because, police brutality in very specifically, centered around people of color. And,
it's not being a thing. It's not becoming
right,
a thing.
no,
It's always been a
It's
thing.
not becoming
The revolution is finally being televised.
Right, exactly. Thank you so much. That's what I meant. I was like, they're like, oh my God, this is so bad. New tragedy. I was like, bitch, no, you know what's new? Fucking cameras.
Where the fuck
with
have
phones.
you been?
I mean, if phones with fucking video cameras on them, that's what's fucking new. This behavior ain't. Fuck off. Like, please. Be honest with you, I've known way too many cops to understand that. I'm like, yeah, they literally train to treat people of color as the other,
Yeah. Or sex workers,
and it's
women.
veiled as this weird, you don't want to culturally offend somebody. And I was like, wait, so we need to culturally be inoffensive by perpetuating racism? I'm a little confused. Okay, sure. Not a problem. I understand. Not really, but I understand that you're a jackass. That's pretty much my thing. But yeah, it's just one of those things where I'm just like, how are you saying that this is just not? Fuck off. The willful ignorance is just sickening to me. And that's where I start to rage. Is this whole like, I had no idea. Yes, you did, Karen. Fuck off. You did. You totally fucking knew.
Look, Janet, you weren't paying attention.
You. Yeah. No. They were paying attention. It was just the fact that they didn't have to care. And now it's being fucking thrown up in their face, and Barbecue Becky and fucking, whatever, all the rest of them, they're getting called the fuck out on their bullshit. And they're just like, it's a witch hunt. It's so awful. I was like, no, y'all been acting like this forever. You're just getting called out on your bullshit. You don't like it.
We're tired.
What? We're tired.
We're tired.
Yeah. We're tired. Don't act stupid so you get out of your fucking crap. Like ignorance of the law does not absolve you of it.
So, slightly off topic, but on topic at the same time, have you two heard of Taco Tammy?
No.
All right.
Oh, is this that bitch who was a complete and utter ass, and then they had a fucking fiesta in her driveway, essentially?
Yep.
Oh,
Taco-
wait,
I
no,
was
my bad.
delighted by that.
I didn't realize she was she got her own little nickname, Taco Tammy, Taco Truck Tammy.
Taco Truck Tammy. Yep.
Okay, you know what? I almost, and I'm saying this satirically because not really. I almost feel for her soul, because how the fuck you calling how the fuck you calling out a taco?
It's tacos.
The fuck? Taco trucks are gifts.
Who doesn't want?
Taco trucks are gifts from heaven, and you need to shut your fucking MLM having LuLaRoe wearing fucking essential oil using fucking cake hole, bitch.
Cult. She's in a cult. She's doing multi-level marketing shit. She's in a cult. Don't do it. It's a cult. It's a cult.
Yeah, it's a cult. Oh, I know. Oh no. Yeah, that could be an entirely, utterly different.
Yeah, the exploitation of poor, desperate, specifically women by multi-level marketing bullshit is a whole mood.
Big mood. And let's talk about it, since it's mental illness awareness month. Let's talk about how they try to shill a lot of these products on people with mental illnesses as if that's going to fucking do anything for you.
Yeah, essential oils will not cure your depression, your ADHD, or your fucking autism.
Neither will your little energy supplements or your Amway bullshit or what the fuck ever. And I've literally, I mean, I don't know about your experience with that, Noelle, but I've literally had people come at me with that stuff, and they're absolutely unsubstantiated claims of how I wouldn't need my Adderall. If I just sniff this essential oil and put it in my water every day or whatever junk. And I'm like, are you? And the only reason I didn't go ham on this person is because I'm like, you are at your core not a bad person. You are just naive.
You're too stupid to live.
I'm not going to be good friend, not trying to be ugly like that, but I'm just like, you are just willfully naive, not ignorant. It's not the push on that one for her is she wants to help, but I'm just like, you literally don't have all the information. And I am too tired and it's too much labor to give it to you.
All right.
So I will just say thank you, no, and move along with my fucking day. But it makes me sick when people are just like, you just need fresh air. You just need, I was like, no. Yes, you do need fresh air. In addition to
Adderall.
Therapeutically healthy and medicinally healthy, proven methods to treat your illness. Thank you for playing. If you said that to somebody would you say that to somebody with cancer? No, you would not.
Yes, they would. That's the horrifying thing. Is they're so
that bad.
fucking up their own.
Yeah. Then the minute that came out of my mouth, I was like, but then there's those people, and I stand corrected. But they deep in the fucking Kool-Aid on that one. I'm like, nope, not today.
You're literally gonna kill someone. Shut your cable.
So I was going to. My plan was to also plant rage in various stages, but I've been following this story to see what's been going on with this because of it happened earlier today. This date being May 7th when we're recording this. The shooting that happened in suburban Denver, at a middle school.
I just have not had energy for more dead children.
Between that and anti-vaxxers, no more.
There is officially one dead child.
Oh, goody! It's not as
far
bad as
Columbine.
It's been in the past.
I'm not.
That is not even. No, I know you're not saying that. That's what I'm just saying. I'm
because I've been waiting just basically to see, and this is kind of morbid because I'm not waiting on it to see. What's the death toll now? It's like I hope no one actually died from this, because at the time when I first saw the story, I just got in at 7:00. There was just injured, and that's it because everything was taken to hospitals. But it was an 18-year-old male student that has not been identified that has been killed in the tragedy.
Noelle, I don't know about
Several victims are still critical.
Yeah, 8 injured. I just said, he posted on the thing. And Noelle, I don't know about you, but you've expressed it several times, just like me, where you're just like, a bitch is tired. I'm tired, and part of being tired, and it's so sad because I'm just like, it's not like I don't care. This applies to a bigger thing, not I'm tired of hearing about school shootings. No, or shootings in general. That's not what I'm talking about. I'm so tired, and it's
tired of the unending grief,
the unending impotent rage. And knowing and understanding truly and utterly the simple solution for a lot of it. Now, implementing a simpler solution is not, it is obviously going to be different, but I'm just like the simple, like, stop doubling down on your fucking, like, just rage-filled insanity to justify this. Here's the soon the NRA is going to pop in, and believe me, I have far too much experience with the NRA for my own good, for my own sanity. Thank you very much. But they're going to pipe in. Yeah, fuck the NRA.
Yeah,
hard.
and they're going to be like, but
this isn't the time.
Teachers with guns would have stopped this. Teachers don't want guns. Teachers have too much shit to do.
No. They don't, and they don't get paid enough for that shit. That's trained.
They don't get paid enough to do the shit they do.
Exactly. That's trained ass fucking. That's trained soldier shit. And that's no, that's hours you have to spend in being a skill and all this other kind of shit. Yeah, and people are just like, what the fuck do you know about the NRA, libtard? Let me tell you what I know about the NRA. I used to be a federally licensed firearms dealer. I am not actually anti gun in general. I am very pro regulation. Like, you have to go through more shit to get a car and your license to drive it than you do a gun, do a firearm.
And that should not be a thing.
Should not be a thing.
I'm very pro sensible access reform.
Exactly. And so I'm just like, let me talk about how the NRA actually makes a lot of things difficult, even for smaller firearms dealers. A lot of the small firearm dealers or builders or customizers, because we had to get the federal license for this through the ATF. So background check and everything like that. So like, I'm sane, or whatever, and able to have this thing. Hold on just a second. Could you? Okay, sorry. My mother sent me a message. And I had to read it. Anyway, we all live in the house. We bought the house together, my mom and my husband and I. So occasionally I'm just like, oh, you need me to do a thing for you before you go to work tomorrow. Gotcha. Sorry about that. They block, they even block like small business owners, people who are just like, we support the Second Amendment. We want this because this is our business, but yet we still want regulation because it's harder for us to keep track of a lot of shit. And this is dangerous and we don't like this. We as like gun owners, you thought, oh, what the fuck, are you some alt-right BSers? And I'm like, no, I've been screamingly liberal, like just terrifyingly liberal since a long time ago. And no, I want steps. It shouldn't be easier to get a metal death box than it should be to get a tiny projectile slinging.
This goes back again to me in regards to what ifs if I didn't move type thing. The only year of high school that I could say I had pretty much stress-free was my freshman year of high school. Not because of various things that I've gone through with high school. I wasn't popular or anything like that. But I was in ROTC, and we had
oh boy, you really were a cog, weren't you?
And the reason I was in ROTC was to please my stepfather who was in the military. But that's another thing. But we had a rifle team where we would go out to shoot rifles at a gun range. The rifle team went out once per week. The person that ran our ROTC brought me out one other time per week, every week, giving me a box of bullets instead of the usual 10 to 20 that I was allowed to shoot, and said, go at it, just shoot until you're done. And I would basically go through the whole entire box going, and this is the person I want to shoot, and this is the person I want to shoot.
And that's also
not
healthy.
It's not, but because I was just shooting at, and I wasn't like doing people targets, I was just doing like circle targets. But because per bullet, I was going through and getting out all that rage and everything like that, I would have been I probably would have been a complete and utter gun nut on top of everything.
I mean, you moved, so that probably helped.
I moved.
Yeah, environment is key, and that's why even a change, a literal change in your geography, no matter how small, is actually very helpful. Clinically proven to be extremely helpful when it comes to like mental, like just a stability and mood. You discuss it with shit. Just look at yourself like as if you were a plant. Bitch, I understand we all want to be like little pale ass, like cool, edgy vampire emo kids, whatever the aesthetic, but get your ass outside for a second, soak in some vitamin D, and then sit the fuck back down. A change in perspective, even for like 5 minutes, will change your life. Just if you're sitting in a cesspool of fucking like emotional and mental misery some days and you don't want to go anywhere, and I understand, and I never say this is like, just take a walk outside. All you need is sunshine. You don't need who was that bitch that tweeted something about people with depression don't need something that rattles in a bottle. They need something that they
fuck that cunt.
Who is that wretched hole, and where and how badly does she need to just go away? Like, I was like, I just imagine Thanos. Like, I was like, if there's anything good that came out of the Thanos thing, because like, let me tell you, I was just like, your plan doesn't make any sense. Is I imagine people I just despise. I was just like, I just snap my fingers and you dust away. I'm like, yay, I love that. That's so fun. That's amazing. But yeah, she needs to go. I'm never that person, but I'm just like, as a tool in your toolbox to deal with mental anything, illness or whatever, it's a tool. It's a tiny tool. Sometimes when all you got is a fucking like a hammer,
store-bought is fine.
You got it. Yeah, store-bought is fine. When you got what all of you got is what you got, and just try to implement it. This is never me, the one that'd be all like, you just need to take a walk. No, punch me in the face if I ever do that, because I'm clearly an imposter. Like, shoot me, because it's not me. Like, I'll never say that. I'm like, no. Or there was a meme going around, and a very a dear performer that I know. She is very heavily involved with Black lives matter out in the West Coast, but also the Black Arts Matter movement. She's an amazing burlesque performer. I'm not going to mention her because I did not get her permission to do the thing. However, there are several out there that I know personally, so it's just whatever. And there was a meme going around that says, if there's any phrase that you could say on social media that would immediately key in people to know that you have been kidnapped or you are in like serious distress, what would it be? And she said, I loved this so hard. All she said was hashtag all lives matter. Because if that ever came out of her face, we would know, oh, she been kidnapped. Girl, oh shit, we need to find her ass because she been taken. Like, seriously, bitch is in trouble. And that was like code. So it's like, what would be your thing that you would say that'd be all like, Gretchen's not all right. Oh shit, we got to find her. Like, she's been kidnapped or like so taken to be like, all you need is like sunshine and a walk. You don't need your meds. Yeah, that would be the time you came looking for me. Or I'm a pod person and you might as well just kill me because I'll start screeching at you. Whatever. Exactly. So I was just like, no way. But yeah, I'm exhausted. I'm exhausted with everything. I stopped watching actual reputable news outlets of any kind, from whatever. I stopped almost a year ago, and that was due to a lot of personal reasons, because going through my own and in my household own mental issues and just real life. Like I'm sitting here going, man, I want to be an activist, but I'm trying to keep the lights on. I'm trying not to give into my homicidal ideation. I am trying to, keep it together. And so I was like, I have to give that up. So like my subscription to Mother Jones is just like, okay, I give because I want to, I still have it because I want that journalism, but I was like, I don't read it, and so I would get, but they're like, well, but I still want, the up to the minute, like what's going on. So I would watch Stephen Colbert and Trevor Noah, Daily Show, and who's the other one?
Mm-hmm.
His wife
John
had
Oliver?
John
Stewart?
Oliver. Well, Stewart's gone. This currently right now, like yes, but Jon Stewart, yes, because he's still doing his work for the 9/11 affected fire and police department.
Yeah, that's Jon Stewart.
Yes, John Oliver, big one.
Yeah.
And actually, I will still watch him occasionally when I know I can handle it, but because I just love him. And Seth Meyers. I was like, his wife had a baby in their fucking lobby. The second baby, she was like, "I'm having a baby," and then they're just like, they got down, and she was like, "Nope, we're not even making it into the Uber." She on the marble floors. Seth Meyers, yeah. And I can't even watch them anymore. And they have a comedic spin. It was a way for me to. It was the spoonful of sugar helped that medicine go down, and I can't even do that anymore. I just can't.
Because
some people are just like,
unfortunately, there's a lot more medicine because you have to take it sometimes, and it's like, stop! There's enough.
Yeah, and I'm just like, there's medicine, but I was just like, bitch, how much lean do I have to fucking drink? Like, Jesus Christ! I'm like, no, this is terrible. I can't deal with it anymore. And I'm just, I'm a basket case, and I don't, there's no, and so that's part of my self-care is one of those things where I'm just like, I have limits, and I have reached them.
Which is going to be going up later today, actually, because of my computer woes.
Yes, please throw money at us so Bob can fix his shit.
Yes. But we were doing one of our rant episodes, and me and Noel were like, and this happened in the news, and then there's silence. And it's like, it's just that we don't have anything to say anymore because it's all bullshit.
That's another thing. Yeah, people... I had been gagging and waiting for the Mueller report. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And by the time it came...
And we're not allowed to have it? We're not allowed to have it.
Yeah, that too. But, like, by the time it came, and then, like, whatever did come out and redacted, and I understand all that, and I respect, and I've been talking to people that I still know that work in the government, and the federal government, and I was just like, man, no, like, I'm the last one to bitch, because I used to have a fucking security clearance, and I'm just sitting here going, man, he's it's thorough. It's supposed to be thorough, and this is why he's putting it off to, like, state agencies, so he can't pardon himself. I know what he was doing and why it was taking so long, and this and that and the other thing, but by the time it fucking came out, I was just like, nope.
Just nope.
Don't even tell me if they've started any proceedings against him. I just want you to tell me the fucking results at this point. Like, nope, I can't. I can't. How many times do we have to go through the fucking, the Anita Hill hearing, or not Anita Hill, well, although he had her, John Oliver had her on the thing. I could not deal with Kavanaugh.
Dr. Blasey Ford. Dr. Blasey Ford.
I
was sick. I had to leave. I could not be in a room where that thing was playing because it was triggering.
Oh, yes, me. Exactly. I was like, I'm out. I'm out. People are like, but I'm like, no, seriously, this is getting to me. And I'm not the one, like, that's just that I usually, and I'm not saying anything against people who have those triggers. Like, they're obviously, like, I've swallowed it so hard to a toxic level at this point, on a lot of those things. But that was just like, I just looked at that and went, nope. I've got 2 tickets for the nope train, because nope, I'm heading to Nopesville. No, I'm done.
Gone.
All of that was just like, I know every beat. I know every syllable. I feel this, and I can't anymore. And I was just like, it's choking, and it was just triggered too many emotions and reactions that I could not control, and all this kind of shit. And I was just like, nope, okay. And even my poor husband, occasionally he wants to, rage against the machine with me, and I was like, baby, I love you. No, not capable of that. Please do not. Please, no. And I was like, I realize you want someone to be angry with, and I'm sorry, I can't be that person right now because I'm tired. I'm so tired. And then in that tiredness, you realize that like you've been belching out. And this is a personal thing. I don't know if anybody else feels this. Recently, it's been this. I've been belching out for like everything and everybody else outside of me. It feels like, I'm sure I'm exaggerating quite a lot because of the emotion. But I was just like, I stopped and I looked around and I was like, who the fuck am I? What the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
But seriously, like, what am I doing to further a decent, healthy life on me, on my own? Does that make sense? Like, what am I doing to not be the manic pixie dream, demon bitch or whatever the fuck,
Manic Pixie Dream Girl needs to die.
Needs to die hard. Yeah, that's why I'm just like, I'm the manic pixie demon bitch, I guess, because like sometimes I'm your savior and sometimes I'm awful, like I'm just like the fucking devil, whatever. And I can't live up to anything anymore. And I can't. And then I realize when I'm sitting here going, I spent all this time past relationships, and I'm not, like I said, I'm not really crying about my relationship now. We've got our own set of problems, but we're all grown ass adults, and we are trying to deal with it the best we can in the most healthy manners. Because mental illness, when you've got a household filled with mental illness, you got to look at the situation and go, we need to deal with this, or this is going to go down in flames. Okay, well, I love you, so I don't want to go down in flames. Let's deal with it. That's what it is. But when you think of a lifetime of like, I'm tired, it's like, and this rolls into feminism. I'm like, I'm tired. And I looked around and I was just like, I am almost 45 years old. I am unemployed. I am exhausted, and that's pathetic. And that's not encouraging to get right out there and start a new day. And then you're just like, and do you want to hear about what's going on in the news? Not at all. Thanks for asking, though. I appreciate that. Like, fuck off. I can't even right now. So you know what I'm saying? I'm just like, I'm so tired,
All right. So let's go through and start wrapping things up.
I'm happy with that. That's
everybody, you can go visit our website at www.xchromosomepodcast.com. We have all the links to our social medias, our Patreon. Noelle is very active on Facebook. Facebook is located at www.facebook.com/we all have an X chromosome. That is all in one giant word because I didn't want to space anything out. I am on Twitter. Our Twitter is X Chromosome Pod at Twitter, so you could go and send us stuff there too. Next week's episode is going to be a combination of previous extra features from previous podcasts. As next week, I'm not going to be here on Tuesday night because I'm going to be in Providence to go see Postmodern Jukebox.
Woo! Have a life!
Yes, you did make a post about that, didn't you, when you got the tickets?
And I still have not had anybody that said they'll go with me. But
it's in Providence. I can't help you.
I mean, that's everybody's just like, I want to go, but it's in Providence and I'm here. I'm like, I know it's.
Problem with having virtual friends.
That is the problem with having virtual friends. That is correct. But even though they're virtual friends, they are real friends. So we don't have an outro. We just are awkward.
Outro, little baby outro. Sorry, I've been listening to it.
Okay, now we have an outro.
Now we have it.
Keep using that.
Oh my god,
now.
no! Don't do that because I think I might. I was like, did I just? I think. Oh my god, Sorrow TV is getting me mad at me. We love you. I'm sorry, you're funny. I love you. But yes, now we have an outro. Go ahead.
So
you're going to be gone. So it's going to be a greatest hits.
Yep, greatest hits.
Yeah.
Things like Digital Champions malt vinegar.
Okay.
Yes, Digital Champions malt vinegar. It's a thing.
Like bad sponsors? What is that? Like,
all right, because we.
Oh! On the subject of Digital Champions malt vinegar, not malt
I was gonna
liquor.
say, I was like, malt.
What the fuck?
Liquor?
I'm sorry. Warren, he was Alpha Riff, helped immensely in nagging Wendy's to bring back spicy chicken nuggets. So fucking go see his shit and love on him if you like spicy chicken nuggets.
Go see his shit. Go love on him. Do not support Wendy's in any way, shape, or form. We had that discussion on the Alpha Riff episode.
Yeah, they're shitty to their supplier chains, and they don't pay their employees enough.
And they support Trump.
Is this?
It's awkward. Wendy's.
Oh man, really?
The restaurant.
Oh damn, because their Twitter account is fucking vicious.
Fire. I know.
Oh man.
Digital Champions malt vinegar was because I try to edit off the stuff that's not thematic usually to the pod, and one of the things was us talking about food that is weird to eat or what people perceive as weird. And he said that he will drink the packets of malt vinegar at Long John Silver's.
It's hardcore. That's
I'm
okay.
gonna have to introduce you to Alpha Rift because he'll be like, "Yes, someone thinks I'm hardcore."
that yes.
Mhm.
That's hardcore. I like
All right,
because
so
I'm just sitting here. I'm like, would it be something I did? Probably not. I mean, and I'll do a lot of weird shit, but no.
but see,
Everybody's got boundaries.
I'll
and it's
cheer
fine.
him on. Go ahead, sorry.
he's such a promoter of his Digital Champions music, novels, art, things of that nature. I said, "Look, dude, Digital Champions malt vinegar," and we showed a recipe where you can brew your own malt vinegar.
That's amazing.
He hasn't started the process yet, but if we hound on him like Wendy's, maybe it'll be a thing.
Right.
All right,
Okay.
so that being said, we're getting out of here. My name is Bill.
Yes. I'm Noelle, and we want to thank our special guest, Gretchen.
Thank you. This has been really fun. Please ask me back whenever because yay.
Basically, it's like, I need a podcast guest. You're allowed to curse. Gretchen's like, I'm in.
Like you had me at you're allowed to use curse words. Okay. Also, the only thing I've got to plug for the moment is you can follow me on. I'm a little selective when it comes to Facebook because I have a hard. Sometimes I don't follow it. I don't read it quite as well as I should, but I do have an Instagram and it's at Gretchen Suzanne Delamorte. The thing is, but just I think you just look up Goth Barbie 3000 because hopefully you can by the title, not by the at.
It'll be on our show notes for everybody, and also, and we are banned from Instagram.
You are banned from Instagram.
Yep,
We're banned from Instagram.
Why? What did you do?
Something. Then it was stupidity that wasn't really in the terms of service, but at the same time was in the terms of service.
Okay.
And I haven't fought with Instagram back to try to get us back. So
Instagram fuckery. Yeah, I've had a couple of friends and artists that have had Instagram fuckery. They're not banned, but they might be getting close to it because of not their stupidity, of Instagram's ambiguous issue, like ambiguous rules. Apparently, I don't know, but okay.
Yeah, we got banned because of an ambiguous rule. And just
you were being you, not doing anything wrong, and Instagram was just like, nah, we're good.
Just like we're getting ready to ban Craig from this room.
Okay. Hey. Okay. Good night, everybody.
All right, Craig, get out. Where's the button? Get him out.
Craig, get out. Craig, bot, get out. Bye.